With these three things, we've been able now to have campaigns that consistently bring us good meetings. And we believe also that to these prospects, they're relevant. That's why they're taking them. Typewise is an AI agent platform where you can connect all your channels to it and all your backend systems to it. And then it's able to handle customer queries end to end and also route to the right human person when that's required. We're basically selling to enterprise customer service teams. So it's usually like a head of customer service or a VP of customer experience who would be our main point of contact. We had transitioned from an earlier product to this new agent platform. And with that transition, we've also seen that our previous outreach and sales approach needed revision. So in summer, we started rebuilding the sales team for this new, let's say, agentic product. And then we said, hey, let's get somebody that has done this before many times on board, that we don't lose time in like experimenting for too long, but we can do the right experiments quickly and have an expert on the side to see, hey, if something is not working, well, what else should we do to get like up to speed in a short amount of time? As it's usual in sales, and I think in this case, the same happened to us where we had multiple touch points. I think it was actually maybe one of our shareholders that then said, hey guys, since you're now revamping the sales team, because they have heard probably in one of our quarterly updates about that, then they said, hey, you guys should actually talk to Peakora. And I think that was maybe then where I said, hey, sure, might be a good time to have a conversation.
Now, more than 6 months later, you more than doubled your amount of sales calls. What do you think were the 3 most important things you learned and implemented to reach this goal?
One is to really have a narrow ICP. When I look at before, it was quite broad in terms of industry, and we had a lot of deals in the pipeline from this earlier product, but then over time I saw how many of those didn't convert because the ultimate fit was not good. And I think now we narrowed it down much more. So for us, I think we really go after companies that have a decently high volume of customer service requests. And then you also become more proficient in your ICP's problem. The second one was, depending on the role that you're reaching out to, you might need a more direct or a more indirect sales approach. The indirect one can work very well at the C level. Maybe they're not even the ultimate buyer, but they can get you the warm intro. You learn a lot about their company, and if they refer you to somebody on their team, that's a strong referral. And you always have the line open to go back to that initial person if something gets stuck. Just because somebody is willing to talk doesn't mean they're a good fit. The third learning was, I think a direct sales approach is still important because it's just faster. Like when you're able to reach people who are actively looking or like willing to buy, you don't need to do the whole like hula hoop and do a half year indirect approach. Then I think if you can get them, but there the channel matters. And that's maybe the third learning, where like cold calling people does work when you get to the right person and you have the right thing to tell them. With these 3 things, we've been able now to have campaigns that consistently bring us good meetings. And we believe also that to these prospects, they're relevant. That's why they're taking them. What was helpful was the framework where you say, hey, okay, for the ICP, that's the framework. Those are the steps you have to take. Checking, the whole setup with the CRM and the automation, and is everything correct? I think we already brought a lot in-house, but I think just seeing, okay, what we're doing is actually more or less what you're supposed to be doing. And then I think working along that process to have a guideline. And then I think the bigger value actually came from you or Michael or the team, where the questions are always very specific to the company, right? So we will say, well, now we did all these calls, but half of them didn't lead anywhere. And then you have discussion why, and you try to find solutions. And I think that for me was the biggest value add, that I have somebody outside of the team that also starts understanding us, but has seen a lot of other things, and that we can say, hey, let's try it this way or that way. The breadth of what you cover, but then also being able to go deep. Okay, here's a framework, you can watch it online, good luck. I think that's probably only somewhat helpful, but then having a discussion of, okay, we tried these 5 things and these 4 things didn't work. What else should we do to get on a good track?